Thank you for coming to our inauguration this evening. What we are going to do next is we're going to have our colors come down the center, followed by the procession of the mayor, city councilors, school committee, city solicitor. So if you are able, please stand. March on the colors. Please join me for a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will have the national anthem sung by the Leominster High School. Retire the colors. Please be seated. It's my pleasure now to introduce Father Jose Rodriguez from Holy Family Church.
Good evening, everyone. This week throughout the world, also we mark on January 6th what we call Little Christmas. Some places call Epiphany, some places the Feast of the Reyes Magos, the Magi. As the part of the Puerto Rican culture, we celebrate the Reyes Magos, and the whole idea was the three kings would bring gifts to the kids. And we're told that they brought us gifts because they brought once to the child Jesus, and they recognized in each little child the presence of Jesus. And they want to honor that by bringing them a gift on that night. We pray today that as a city of Leominster, as we have done in the past, we continue to recognize the presence of God in every human being. To continue to promote the love and the care for our young ones in schools and preschools, at home. They protect our older kids in the nursing homes and the hospitals. Everybody feels really at home because Leominster is a big home. That God may continue to give us the inspirations to carry on that ministry, that duty as churches, as schools, as businesses, as City Hall. To cherish the gift of being one family, loving, caring, and protecting one another. May God inspire those who will be leading us in this upcoming year, that they may do an awesome job for the sake of all of us, the little ones. Amen.
Thank you, Father. So we're here today to welcome in and swear in another group of dedicated city servants. We appreciate all their hard work. We have our department heads for the city sitting here in the front, and the city couldn't do what it does, wouldn't look as good as it does without your participation and all your help. So thank you for that. Just want to do a couple quick facts. This is the mayor's 30th year. A couple quick facts from 1994.
Don't do that.
Was anybody alive in 1994? Not many hands. VHS tapes were a thing. Public payphones were a thing. Classified ads were a thing. Walkman CD players. Encyclopedias. Printing photos and phone books. The Federal Minimum Wage Act, federal minimum wage was $4.25. Some of our clerks are still getting that now. Some of the stores that are no longer around, I'm not saying Mary had anything to do with their downfall. Blockbuster, Woolworths, Circuit City, KB Toys, Photomat, Radio Shack, and Toys R Us. So let's hope in your next 30 years we don't get rid of any of our current stores. So I'm going to welcome up for a few minutes, if you will, Senator Cronin. You want to do a welcome? Absolutely. Come on up.
It's a privilege to be here with you all tonight. In 1994, Mayor Dean Mazzarella was also a thing. So, and I would nominate you for Speaker of the House of U.S. Representatives, but maybe next week. It is not an easy time to serve an elected office. It is hard to put your name up, to step up, and to step forward to serve your community. And with social media and just the misinformation that pervades our society and our city. It's not an easy thing to do. So I'm so grateful to you, Mayor Mazzarella, Sheriff Evangelitis, who is with us, Representative Higgins, and distinguished members of the City Council and School Committee for stepping up to serve again. If you turn on cable TV or the radio or the newspaper, you're going to see cynicism and apathy and partisanship, and everything that is wrong with our country is in your face all the time. But if you look around this room tonight, I think you see everything that is right. And it is dozens of people who step forward to serve this community, who care about the city of Leominster, who want to advocate for the people that sent them to serve an elected office to make their lives better. And it doesn't mean we need to agree with each other all the time. It doesn't mean we even need to like each other, but it does mean that we share a common purpose, and that is to work together. That's to treat each other with dignity and respect, and it's to commit and recommit to making life better for the people that we represent. So to everybody who stepped forward and is taking the oath of office tonight, thank you on behalf of the Massachusetts Senate. I look forward to continuing to work with you for the next 2 years, and God bless the city of Leominster.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for all that you do. So now we have State Representative Natalie Higgins.
Good evening. I'm bringing my well wishes from the Massachusetts House of Representatives, Mr. Mayor, City Council, School Committee members. I'm so thrilled to start this new year with all of you and to be in partnership with Senator Cronin. To all of the family members and loved ones who help support these folks in front of us, thank you for your sacrifice. We all know how much we need your support to be able to do what we do and put this really amazing city forward. And I'm looking forward to an even more successful 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. At this time, we're going to have a musical selection by Grace Berry, and she's a student of the Monument School of Music.
Hi. So I'm going to be singing one of my original songs. I wrote it about 2 days ago. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's about mental health and how some teenagers feel alone and just overwhelmed with everything. I hope you guys get it and enjoy it.
I'm assuming, Grace is an instructor at the Monument Square Music School. Oh, Mayor, I apologize. You have to follow that.
I knew that was coming.
Going on his 30th year. I think a campaign promise was a new police station. We're almost there.
You forgot, I had black hair. 1994.
And you were taller. Mayor Dean Mazzarella.
Rick does that to me every year. That's a hard act to follow. Isn't that amazing? If I had a voice like that, huh, Rick? And a face like Rick's, man, sky's the limit. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out. It's raw and cold, and that's usually how inauguration night goes. Just the first one we had was ice and snow, and but we had it, and it's part of the tradition. It's always winter on inauguration night. This evening, I want to remember all those who are serving our country, especially those who are far away and missed the holidays with their loved ones while we had an opportunity and a chance to be with them. We also remember those who have passed over for the last year or so. And, we lost a lot of friends and family and residents of our city during COVID. Sheriff Lou Evangelitis, Senator Cronin, State Representative Higgins, members of the City Council, Superintendent Deacon, school committee members, clergy, department heads, family, friends, and all of those that are here tonight and those that are listening. We actually, through technology, radio and television, and they're actually watching in Germany tonight. So part of the United States military, media center. Also here tonight, again, my friends and family that we're all a little older now. Margaret Whately said that without reflection, we go blindly on our way. Tonight we reflect on the past year, and what a better place to start than right here. Look around the room. Louis Charpentier's creations are all around here, and some of them are newly restored. And I made a promise to Louis that, Louis, don't worry about where this is going to go. We always had this unsaid conversation, and Louis was 100 and 101, and we were having a silent conversation about what would happen to his art, his creations. But we didn't really have that conversation. You ever had one of those? It's like you have to talk about the hard things, but you don't really, and you kind of hint around. And I said, Lou, I don't know what you're talking about, but don't worry about it. This stuff will always get taken care of, and your legacy will live on. Don't worry about it. And then we brought all of the artwork here to City Hall, and one of our employees here, he retired, but he's back to work, Brad, started to look at some of the creations here and said, do you mind if I take a stab at this and start to restore some of these? And you can look around the room. I mean, they're like brand new. And I don't know how many of you grew up with these little mice. Does anybody have one of these little mice signed by Louis? Isn't that amazing? And the legacy continues. Whereas once we went to Louis' house, and Louis would stand out there and he had the book, and we'd sign in for, that we came here, and there'd be people from all over the world that would come to see Louis' creations. And that was a tradition, and now the tradition is coming here to City Hall with yet another, fifth or sixth generation of kids and family that come here as part of the tradition here in the city. Our city is 30 square miles. It's 44,000 people. There's 12 hills that surround Leominster, but it's filled with tradition, history, tradition in the arts and religion, culture, sports, heritage, and that's what makes us so special. So in keeping with tradition, we'll take a look back on some of what we were able to accomplish in the last year. I have to be honest, I thought COVID would be behind us, and probably a lot of you thought the same thing. But we had to work and learn how to operate with and in COVID. We've continued our strong commitment to public safety with the purchase of new frontline vehicles for fire, police, and Department of Public Works, along with new equipment that helps our first responders to respond smarter and more efficiently. And we had this process that we did with the fire department, and the chief and his staff have been remarkable. So they always come up with ideas, and they'd say, well, that sounds good. Let's put it to paper. Right, chief? And within 3 or 4 days, they'd come back with this very detailed analysis of everything you can ever imagine on the cost of the taxpayers' savings, and it's just remarkable because that's good government. That's what we expect from our government. And most recently, we looked at having full-time paramedics for the city. In the past, we contracted that. They came back and put a proposal together, and we shared it with the city council, and we were just in awe at the proposal. And for the first time now, the city of Leominster has its own paramedics, and what a wonderful job the fire department did. So thank you. Remarkable job. As you saw last night, if you were watching that game at all or anything, we're talking seconds to get a defibrillator to somebody when their heart goes into arrhythmia and they have a heart attack. You have literally seconds to get to that person. And now we have, we have defibrillators in all of our vehicles. We have them in all of our buildings. They're all the same. And there are many success stories where, and we hope and pray tonight that this is another success story, because anybody that watched that, that's something that's repeated more often than you think, and it's that fast response by first responders that saves lives. We welcome a new fire department headquarters at the old Lancaster Street School building. It's going to be combined. The dispatch center is going to be moving there. It's a lot of work to do that. The 3 fire stations in the city have been upgraded, all under the leadership of our fire chief. And I'm happy to say, Todd Deacon, that this year we're going to be opening our new police station. And it's taken a long time, but this is something that you'll be very proud. The police station is as old as I, and that's old. But this year we're going to be able to open it June 3rd. Everybody's invited. It's really exciting because it's a community project, and it's built by those in public safety, built by those that serve on the committee that are public residents. So again, Chief, on your leadership, we're going to have a new police station. Thank you. And thus far, and we're only got a couple of months to go with our team, building committee, it's on time, it's on budget, and with the leadership of our finance team, we'll be able to do it without having to raise the taxes. So that's even a better thing. Right, Ma? Aren't you happy about that? You know, when we get our tax bills, I have to report back to my mother. That doesn't always go so good. This year saw the start of a program in Leominster that will affect all of our health, and it's a program that's good here in the city of Leominster. And you know, I talked a little bit about we had a tremendous addition to our team in this past year, Jeff Stevens, and he was the Water Health Director, and he suddenly became ill at a very young age. He was a great person. And tonight, we dedicate this inauguration to him. Thank you, Jeff. He's a good guy. Jeff brought us things like, he just got here, and within seconds he took over our COVID program, administrating masks and shots for everybody and vaccines. And within weeks he had the Mass General blood mobile set up out in front of City Hall, in front of the library. And every single time that we've done a blood drive, it's been to capacity. So his legacy lives on. The Department of Public Works, and I know Ray will be happy to hear this, but we always talk about bringing bringing things to every neighborhood in the city. And I don't want to say anything, but when I was young, we always talked about the west side got everything. We on the east side always felt like the west side got everything. It really wasn't true, but it's just what you said. Well, Ray and his team at the DPW have done just a remarkable job of bringing sidewalks and road improvements, places like Central Street, and Spruce Street, and Main Street, and Priest Street, and Pleasant Street, and Union Street, and we already have a list already, right, Ray, for next season. 14 sections of the city have had water main replacements, and we continue our upgrades in the city at Milltown plant and wastewater treatment plants, which brings us to the most state-of-the-art facilities that there are anywhere. And in 2022, $1 million were added and committed to paving the streets. So not only did we take our Chapter 90 money that we get from gas tax, but we added $1 million to that so we could speed up the process. And in 2023, we'll meet and exceed the amount of paving in the past of both spring and fall for the next year. So we'll have 2 different programs, right, Ray? You see, Ray, he smiles, he gets all excited to this stuff. Thanks to the years of dedicated resource, Good leadership. Oh, well, team, it's our team. I'll talk more about that, Fire Chief. The Chief says we got the best team. He says, you need a new building.
Can we clap for him now?
No. Thanks to the years of dedicated resources, more than 40 annual events. And there's Melissa back there saying, please don't add another one. I was at a meeting, and this is true. And someone brought to my attention that there was a grant available for cities that had empty storefronts in their downtown. They could get $10,000 from this program. And I said, well, that's really nice, but the only problem is we don't have any vacancies. And that's a good problem to have. But anyway, we entered into 16 buildings in our city in the downtown. I don't know if you've seen some of them, but they're underway now with some of the major exterior improvements as part of our facade program. And we're pretty proud of that because it's really going to change the look of some of these buildings. And this year also we saw the opening of the Twin City Rail Trail, a project that was started 20 years ago with Congressman John Over. He was able to secure a federal earmark and keep the earmark while we worked out the details. And this was a tough one because we went, just in Leominster alone, we had 100 properties, abutters that had properties that abutted the railroad tracks that, as you can imagine, after a while you take care of that and they almost like to become your property. The problem was it wasn't, and it was part of the rail trail. Anyway, we were able to keep that, and even though Fitchburg and Leominster are rivals, and I don't know if you heard this, but Leominster, Superintendent Leominster beat, wasn't that? Leominster beat Fitchburg in the, pretty badly too, but anyway, I was happy to see that, and that's part of the tradition. Leominster is going to Louis Shop and Tears to see his decorations and then beating Fitchburg in the game, so we fulfilled both. The rail trail is a true symbol of cooperation between the two cities that runs deep and benefits the entire area. I like this part. For years, you've heard me talk about planning. It means everything. And I don't know if you've ever heard the City Council President Dave Cormier. He always says this, let me tell you something. Doesn't he say that all the time? Let me tell you something. Well, I want to tell you something. In the 90s, Leominster was one of the first communities to fulfill our open space and recreation plan. Little did most communities know that if you didn't get that filled in, you couldn't qualify for any grants. 25 years later, our team has completed our 4th open space and recreation plan. Thanks to years of experience for all our department heads, we've also created a strong hazardous mitigation plan to target those areas of the city that are most vulnerable, if not repaired. A climate action plan was completed with one of the best cross-sections of Leominster environmental stakeholders that I've ever seen since I've taken office. The end result, millions and millions of grants and dollars that come into the city over years for open space, parks, infrastructure to help us accomplish our goals for every park, every neighborhood. I remember growing up, we had one place, if you lived on the east side, you had one place you could go to. It was called Whitney Field. Does anybody here, anyone remember Whitney Field? It had a couple of pools and some recreation areas. And then at some point it got vandalized, and the city at the time decided they just couldn't make the commitment to it anymore to keep it running. So they shut it down. So us kids on French Hill on the east side, we took to the streets. The streets is pretty much where we played. And anybody's empty property that would allow us to play baseball before eventually they kicked us out. But one of the missions that we had 30 years ago, and our incredible team, is to provide open space and a park for every neighborhood, and we've been able to fulfill that. And if you got your skateboards ready, get some wax and get them ready, because the skateboard park is officially open, right? It's officially open. Thank you. Route 13, everybody's favorite. Yes, it's almost complete, and yes, when finally done, it's going to mean moving more people through that intersection than we ever have, and more safely. Route 12 near the hospital is designated as one of the worst 100 intersections in the entire state. It changes underway. Not only will it mean a better traffic corridor, but it will help continue to stimulate the economy. And Water Tower Plaza, I'm happy to tell you, even though nobody knows what's going in where the old Shaw's was, I'll just give you a hint and tell you that once that mall is complete, and that'll happen in the next 6 months, that mall and all the other retail areas in the city will be at 100% capacity. That's pretty amazing. We have one, and that's at the mall, that the new owners, the Hull Group, has been just tremendous about strategy. They will take tenants, and good tenants. They won't fill the mall up just to fill the mall. They've put money into the mall to pretty it up a little, but they have talked to them on the phone the other day, and they have incredible plans for that area down there. So good things happening, even though we have the Amazon giants, and it seems to be that more and more people shop online. 30 years ago, Dave McKeon was the president of the Chamber of Commerce. We went to the State House, we went everywhere, we begged. The state and pretty much everybody else had written off manufacturing. They thought manufacturing would go to other countries and other states and just cut your losses and invest in other things, technology. But we never gave up. And now, not only did we not give up, but with advanced manufacturing and robotics and automation, Leominster continues to be the leader in manufacturing. Just this year alone, in the Pike, is Gerard Tool and Die with an expansion. New England Wire is going to expand. Orchard Hill Park, an anticipated 300 new jobs will be coming to that Orchard Hill Park Drive project. And again, second to Worcester in medical and healthcare industries. So this is a big county, and again, we're second only to Worcester, and they're about 5 times bigger than we are. This past year, again, we saw a number of infrastructure projects here in the city, and infrastructure is important. We can't bring business into the city unless we have the proper infrastructure. Our education system remains above the best. We have the hardest working teachers. And I stood with the superintendent on opening day, and there were almost 1,000 people in that auditorium. And one of the things I always talk to about students is I always ask them about what their passion is. Because if you can find their passion, the rest is easy. And it's not always easy because not everybody always understands what their passion is. I always knew what my passion was. Always. I always wanted to be a cop and a firefighter and a mechanic and an electrician, and I was all over the place. Surprise. But the reality is our teachers will do anything, and our staff and principals will do anything to help each kid achieve their dreams. Now, we have students who come here to this school system who don't speak English. Tonight, you're going to hear from one of them, and you will be, what are you smiling about? How do you know what I'm going to say? You will be thrilled and impressed. But these teachers will do anything. I say that, I mean it sincerely. Teachers and the staff will do anything to find and help that and support that student's passion and help them fulfill their dream. Building partnerships with other elected officials, state and federal government, nonprofit, religious groups, and other agencies has really paved the way for connections to opportunities for us students. Father Jose mentioned kids today and young adults. They're under siege. They really are. The world is moving so fast. Society with advertisements. They're just pounded with advertisement, trends, social media, and more pressure than any of us have ever experienced. We all have our stories about walking to school when they never canceled school when we were all kids. I remember that. But everybody walked through 3 feet of snow. I know, I heard all the story. This kid's got it tough today. There's a lot of pressure today. There are a lot of influences that keep these kids. Now, they also have more opportunity than we had, but I'll tell you, they are under siege. But I want to thank a number of groups that are here today. Our school department goes before school programs, after school programs, summer programs, and not just summer school, but enhancement programs to help to provide good quality programs for these students. Our religious groups, almost all of them have some sort of a youth pastor or youth camps, and they provide good programs. Our Boys and Girls Club, the Spanish American Center, our rec department, our conservation agent, our library. I mean, all of those are really stepped up their efforts to target young adults and young students to offer those positive programs, which is really making a difference in our community, trust me. Those in education, as I said, will do anything, and they really will. Working together, we brought equity to our schools. One of the issues, and not this school committee in the past was, and we continue to talk about it all the time. I think that every conversation that we have about most matters is there equity within our schools? And there is. And people have worked extremely hard to make sure that there are. We wanted to make sure as a city that we provide opportunities for people to be able to open businesses. And that, as I said before, parks and recreational areas for every single neighborhood in the city. Teaching today is complex, which is why the superintendent, the school committee, and I ask to hear from every single school parent and every student. We also have 2 new members who serve on our school committee that are students, and they are extremely helpful to us. Are they not? Am I just speaking for myself? They are really. It's been so fun to have them on board with us, and they bring a different perspective. They are the consumer, and we appreciate it. No child learns the same, and we all know that. We remain committed to getting the necessary funding into the classroom so that every student can succeed and follow their passion. Part of the success in our school buildings, in addition to $100 million that we've invested in our schools during my time in office, this past year the school department and I utilized hundreds of thousands of dollars in CARES Act funding to upgrade heating, cooling, and air quality infrastructure in each school, to enhance school safety. We've invested in a new camera system across the district, and you have my commitment that Leominster will continue to take its education as a top priority. Now, next year, or maybe the year after, we'll be either doing an addition, renovation to the Fallbrook School, or a complete new school. We don't know that yet, but we're moving in one of those directions, but we will get there. Again, we have a responsibility to care for our seniors. We've built that network of services and infrastructure, such as our tax abatement program, new sidewalks, pickleball. I cannot keep up with these people. I'm embarrassed to go over. They challenge me all the time, and I say, I'm sorry, but you've got to witness pickleball. Expanded walking trails, enhanced library opportunities, and our community development program to help seniors stay in their home. Our seniors are active and mobile, and if we're truly going to be a community for all, then we must meet the needs of those who've dedicated their lives to making this city the great city that it is. Part of my everyday regimen is thinking about the city's past. Alongside the walls of this great auditorium are pictures of past mayors, and also one state representative by the name of Angelo Stiff-Percusi. I often think about some of the challenges that they had to deal with and how they dreamed of leaving the city in a better place and handing off the baton as a symbol of hope and opportunity. It is hope and opportunity that drives our administration. I've seen those who, like my grandfather, that have immigrated here, worked hard, and realized the American dream. Like the John Lennon song, Imagine. Remember that song, Imagine? I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. But the song starts off saying, I'm a dreamer, and you may say that I'm the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. I'm a dreamer. And remember that song by Starship? Some can remember. We built this city on rock and roll. Remember that song? We built this. No, I won't sing.
Don't sing it.
I won't. You know what I mean, though, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, I change the words to that sometimes, and I'll sing it. I won't sing it. But we built this city on rock and roll. I change the words, and it says we built this city on hard work, hope, and creating opportunity. And oh yes, because we have so many rock and roll musicians in town. Yes, you helped to create the city, and yes, it was built on rock and roll. Partnerships and working together for a better Leominster has been the hallmark of our administration. But from the onset of COVID, those partnerships have become even more important. Working with the City Council and the school committee has been a pleasure and rewarding. As our state senator said, everybody comes with their own set of beliefs and their own opinion. But we have some really spirited, good debates, respect, everyone listens to each other, and we have accomplished so much as a city council and the school committee. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It makes everything so much better. You have made a true difference, and they're my partners. We're all partners in this. I may be the mayor, but this is the team that helps get things done. One organization that has excelled, and it shouldn't be a surprise, but it has, at adapting and embracing the changes in the city of Leominster in the past 2 decades, has been the Spanish American Center. Their ability to reach out to a diverse population, from after-school programs for our youngest, to vaccine clinics and resource management to all ages. Our friends at the Spanish American Center have been a true partner in the city of Leominster. I am proud to commit some of our federal American Rescue Plan money to the center for expanded outreach efforts over the last 2 years. They have made sure that COVID and beyond, no person or any family has ever been left behind. Thank you to the Spanish American Center. It's no secret there's a lack of affordable housing no matter where you go. Certainly no government agency can conquer this challenge alone. Over the past 10 years, we've partnered with private sector and state government to create units of affordable housing on Adams Street, Summer Street, former Carter Junior High School building. In 2023, we're going to be providing some of the federal funds for the Journey Home project in North Leominster to create more housing that's affordable. We want everybody who wants to live in the city of Leominster to be able to find a place they can afford, and this project will help us to reach our goal. What's 2023 going to bring? And I'll be brief on this. Thanks to a $3 million state grant, we're going to be able to do over that whole area on Litchfield, Viscaloid Ave, from end to end, from Mechanic Street all the way to Lancaster Street, and it'll completely do the road over. That's one of the busiest walkable sections of the city, and they'll put new sidewalks and new roads and handicap accessibility. And the state was so impressed by the amount of people that walk to work, walk to school. So it went from a $1 million grant to 3. As all of you know, we'll be working to upgrade downtown Common, working with the school building authority, as I said. Hopefully we'll have a new Fallbrook School, elementary school. This year we're going to see more progress on Route 12 south towards the Sterling line. So I know we tore up this side of town. We're working on this side of town next year. More improvements to beautify Barrett Park will be done. Our library will hit the road with its new mobile library unit. And for more services for residents and businesses, we will be adopting new online permitting systems for all our city departments. I want to acknowledge 2 people that have become friends to the city, but in more particular to our sheriff and I know the legislature. That is our Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito. We're doing their last walk out of the State House tomorrow. And they have done just remarkable things. I texted the Lieutenant Governor maybe an hour ago. Within seconds, she texted me back. Isn't that always the way it is? They have done such wonderful things for our state, and they have been our friend in every imaginable way. And I gave her a hat at one of the inaugurations. She came here in 2015 to swear me in, and I gave her a hat, and it said 351 on it. And that was signifying the fact that she visited every single municipality in the state. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you twice and 3 times in some cases, here a lot more than that. But they leave a legacy of listening to those in local government. They both came from local government, and putting into action and ideas and plans that we could develop together. They leave a legacy of helping 01453 that will never be forgotten, and for all of that, I thank them. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor and Governor. It's been an incredible 8 years. Each morning, and I want to touch on this because it's been touched on already. There was a song tonight, and Father Jose touched on this. Each morning, I close my morning briefing by saying that we must remember to be kind, generous when we can. Generosity doesn't have to be money, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. And learn to be patient. Guilty as charged. I'm working on that. I cannot even begin to describe the generosity, the kindness, and caring I witness on a daily basis, and much of it with little or no fanfare. When we were giving out masks, people would be limited to 2 masks. People would take 1 mask, give the other one to a total stranger. There's never a time in the city when I can't call somebody, a business or a person, and say, I need some financial help to help somebody else out. It is absolutely amazing. In the past, my mother, when she was 89, I'd say, my mother's 89, oh, she's going to be 90, I don't know, July. She would get upset. Now she's 93, and she wants street credibility, and now she wants everybody to know she's 93 and a half. So to my beautiful mother, who says that maybe 80 years old for a president is not old, that if you give her the reins, she'll get everybody some money back, plus balance the checkbook. So for my mother, she calls the shots. And if you don't remember that story, we're coming up the front stairs about 6 years ago, and I was carrying the patellas, and I was trying to help her, and she says, don't break the patellas. I'm like a mortal sin. But anyway, 93 and a half, you've done all right. She's still calling the shots. Don't mess with her. I also want to thank, the fire chief gives me a hard time when I say we have the greatest team. And we do. And he forced me to have to explain that. The group and the team that we have now, if you could just step back and watch, are so kind and generous to each other and helpful. It doesn't matter which department they work for, what their rank is, who they are. They all bring something to the table. They all work together. And that's for the benefit of our city, because they know it's for the benefit of our city. So there's not a one of them. It's the greatest team, and it's the greatest thing to work with them. And that is why, Chief, I say we have the best team. It really is. It's remarkable. It's like watching a symphony. And no turf issues. It's just something that government is not, when I talk about the city council, Senator Cronin said, this is not symbolic of what you see or read in the newspaper or watch on TV. The things that go on are amazing. And the department heads are just the greatest team ever. I mean, they're incredible people. And they do the work while I'm doing the old daydreamer thing here. They're getting the job done and carrying out the mission. So thank you to all of them. Thank you. I appreciate it. I want to thank my kids. I always say they didn't sign up for this. They were little kids when I decided to do this. And thank you. My daughter's home watching. My son's here. I won't embarrass them. Lindsay and Dina are up top there. My sweetheart Tara puts up with me in ways no one will ever understand. Thank you for being my rock. You're the best. It's true. It's true. What better they have? My brother Marco, man, he's been holding a sign. Remember, my family didn't sign up for this. They do it for the love of me, right? I mean, isn't that what happens, right? You do something, and your family backs you up. My brother Frank and his family. Is Joey still here? He's actually the instructor at Monument School, and does a beautiful job. All right, so here we go. In the 1920s, then Mayor Sawtell, Mark Bonanza, City Council historian and attorney, he assigned police chief, he was the first mayor, and he assigned police chief Conlon to probe the prices at soda fountains. What they found in some places is that the police department found that they were selling, in some places they were selling ice cream for 80 cents a quart, and in some other places they were selling it for 60. Sundays were selling between 7 cents and 17 cents. It may give us all a chuckle, but the reality is that we at City Hall in this city will always have challenges. At the time, it was the price of ice cream. Some of these things may seem silly or small, some major and intense, but I can assure you that if it's important to you, then it's taken serious by us. Thank you all. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. My department heads, would you just please stand up? Our departments, please stand up. Department heads of the city. Thank you. I brag about our city workers and our team, our school department, everywhere I go. I brag. And as you could see tonight, as we started off with the chorus, just a remarkable job. And now, they're always in the back room there. Michelle Nadeau, Kelly Woodland, Wendy Weeks, Diane Richard. Come on, just come forward. Melissa, Amanda, just stick your head down here a little bit. Just a little bit, or we won't leave. We can't end this unless you can forward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And the best part's yet to come.
And the fellow department heads would also like to thank the mayor's staff for squashing a lot of his ideas. Thank you for that. We have a special presentation from Allison Garcia Sarmento. Allison?
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the Major, Superintendent Deacon, ELL Director Renee Koska, School Committee, and other distinguished guests present for this opportunity. My name is Allison Garcia, and I'm here tonight to share a little of my story. I am 19 years old, and I was born and raised in Honduras. I moved to the United States about 3 years ago because my parents were in search of the American dream and wanted to give me a better chance in education and in life. I have been living in Leominster ever since I moved here, and I started high school in my sophomore year, which was one of the hardest ones for me. I had some previous knowledge of English, but it wasn't as good as it needed to be. Since English was my second language, I was part of an ESL program at Leominster Public Schools. I started in the lowest of the levels, level 1, after being screened. But while being in class, it all felt too easy for me, and I advocate to be moved up to a challenging level after the first year, because I knew that by challenging myself, it will bring the best out of me. I was moved to ESL 4 in my junior year, and my English got so much better. I was with students who spoke more English, and that just brought the best out of me. By my senior year, I was still in the ESL program, and I took my access test in January of my senior year. Again, a couple of months later, I was told that I had successfully passed my access test and was no longer an ESL student. I graduated Leominster High School with honors last year, and I was proud of myself that I had made it and that my English had improved that much to be exited from the ESL program. The ESL gave me the opportunity to learn English comfortably and do it at my own growth. I am now starting my second semester at Mount Wachusett Community College, pursuing a major in dental hygiene. I am more than grateful for the ESL program, and I look forward to keep succeeding in life. Thank you.
I told you the best part was coming. You see, immigrants come here like my grandfather, your parents, grandfathers, grandparents. They speak no English, but they work hard. They're after that American dream. And there's just one example coming through our school system. Somebody that comes through here that barely speaks English, that fulfills just part of the American dream. And you speak better than I do. Next time I'll have you read my speech. All right. This also is the best part. Here we go. The awards. As the Grinch would say, an award? Come on, somebody watch that moment. First of all, there's somebody, and I hope he's still here, that's always been with us in every ceremony. I don't care what it is, whether it's the Firefighters Memorial all the events that we had in the city of Leominster, and he's led us into these, into this hall for I don't know how many years with his bagpipes. Stuart Paul, is Stuart here? Did Stuart leave? Stuart's the guy that led us in here with his bagpipes. Is he still here, Wendy? Do you know? So he had to leave, but Stuart Paul, in recognition of your extraordinary service to our community, please accept our heartfelt thanks and appreciation for all you do for our city. The City of Leominster is extremely proud of the work you do every day and wishes to acknowledge and thank you today. Thank you for everything. Community Service Award, Stuart Paul. Next award goes to somebody who's worked on our Disability Commission. I just can't say enough about this lady. And these are the people that do everything and don't care if anybody ever knows, or don't even expect a thank you. They don't care. They just do it because they know it's good for the city and it's the right thing to do. In recognition of your extraordinary service to our community and serving on the committee to bring the annual Starburst program to the city of Leominster from 1992 to present, as well as your volunteerism in serving on the Disability Commission from 2017 to 2019, City of Leominster is extremely proud to honor you and thank you today. And thank you for everything you've done. Marlene Tebow. Any businesses out there want to hire a CFO or something? This is the lady to hire. Thank you so much. Yes. And believe me, none of these receiving it tonight, some don't know and some do, but it's like their worst worry is to be able to come up and accept it because they don't want to even be thanked. But in recognition of your extraordinary service to our community, please accept our heartfelt thanks and appreciation for all that you do. And this is a group of people who we call on all the time. Can you help us with the floats? We're having a summer stroll. Can you help us with this? Never a time. We need donations, whatever it is. They always rise to the occasions and never, ever look for any kind of recognition. But tonight we're going to give it to them. Chuck Doyle and the team at WDC Construction. And I know, who do we have with us tonight? Lee. Who else is with us? Come on up. All of you guys come up. This is just a small part of their team. All those wonderful floats you see in the holiday stroll, these are the elves that put it all together. Thank you. Thank you from all of us. The elves. Thank you. Thank you very much. And every year we give out the Jim Lanciani Award. He's one of a kind. Talk about dedication to the community, love, doesn't care who gets credit. This is the guy who walks you across the street. Your mother having a difficult time getting across the street, or you drop something, or you have a flat tire. This guy that pulls over on the side of the road to help you change that tire. And he's a city councilor, a veterans director here in the city of Leominster, purchasing agent, a lifelong commitment to the city. And we give this award every year. And this year, it's going to go in recognition of an extraordinary service to our community. Please accept our sincerest thanks. And it's going to go to her work with domestic violence, English language classes, a food pantry, elder care, legal assistance, voter registration, children's programming, meal programs, and so much more. And she has a lifelong dedication to our community. Nettie Latimer from the Spanish Americans. My part's done.
Your part's done? Actually, it's not really, because we still need to go to the city. At this time, we will perform the, when I say we, I mean Caitlin, will perform the oaths of office. Caitlin here? Yes, there you are. Excellent. She performed a lot of wedding ceremonies as part of her duties. I don't know if anybody knows why melons get married. They cantaloupe.
I don't know, is that thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm the zoning
Get him out of your church.
Sheriff, if you join us in administering the oath of office to the mayor.
Mayor, I did this morning for the third time, and I thought that was a lot.
That's okay.
I think you got this one. I'm going to please ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Dean J. Mazzarella,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties
all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as mayor
as mayor
of the City of Leominster,
of the City of Leominster,
accordingly,
accordingly,
to the best of my abilities and understanding,
to the best of my abilities and understanding,
in accordance with the laws
in accordance with the laws
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the City of
and
Leominster.
the City of Leominster.
Congratulations,
Thank
Mayor.
you, Sheriff. Thank you.
Next, we're going to do the oaths of office for the members of the City Council. Would you please stand as I call your name? Councilor Peter Angelini, Thomas Ardinger, Mark Bedanza, William Brady, Susan Shalafo-Zephyr, David Cormier, Pauline Cormier, Todd Deacon, Claire Frieda. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform the duties incumbent on me as a city councilor for the City of Leominster to the best of my abilities and understanding in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the laws of the City of Leominster. Congratulations. We'll now do the oath of office for the members of the school committee. Please rise as I state your name. Melissa Bible, Josh Bodridge, Eileen Griffin, Ronald Houle, Salvatore Perla, Brandon Robbins, Gregory Thomas. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform the duties incumbent on me as a member of the school committee for the City of Leominster to the best of my abilities and understanding in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in the City of Leominster. Congratulations. We try to skip you, Brian, but you're not so lucky. We're going to be swearing in our city solicitor next. Brian Riley, could you please stand up or come up here?
They play on the same basketball team with the governor.
Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brian Riley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully and impartially
to faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
the duties incumbent on me
the duties incumbent on me
as City Solicitor
as City Solicitor
for the City of Leominster
for the City of Leominster,
to the best of my abilities
to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
in accordance with
in accordance with
the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts
and the City of Leominster.
and the City of Leominster.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Police officers, police chief, want to come forward? Officer Salvi, anybody that's police officer? Todd Deacon, retired police sergeant, come on forward. Other officers that might be here, please come on up. So coincidentally, 40 years ago to the date, I got a chance to live my childhood dream of being a Leominster cop 40 years ago today. And so tonight, we're going to be able to swear in Officer Salvi, who it's been his dream to be a police officer here in his hometown of the City of Leominster. In the past, it's no secret. It's across the country. It's everywhere. Dealing with homelessness and mental health issues are at the top of our daily call list. And the members of the police department, the fire department operate and go out on rescue calls and service. This is pretty much a good deal of the day. And I have to tell you, they do it with so much respect, so much integrity. They care so much. They go distances that you'll never know of. And again, not because they're looking for anybody to thank them, because it's who they are and what they do. And as I said, most of the priority calls today are either dealing with mental illness or dealing with homelessness or a combination of the two. And they remarkably well. We have a community outreach division now, and it made up of civilians and sworn police officers, and actually the whole department, and they do a magnificent job. I'm so impressed. So tonight, the clerk is going to swear in Officer Salvi.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Colin Salvi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to
and allegiance to
and will uphold
and will uphold
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and that I will fairly
and that I will fairly
and equitably
and equitably
execute and enforce
execute and enforce
the laws thereof
the laws thereof
within the extent
of my authority
and jurisdiction,
so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Colin Salvi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent on me as police officer of the Leominster Police Department, and I will obey and be bound by such rules and regulations that now are or may be from time to time established for the City of Leominster. So help me God. I state your name.
I, Colin Salvi,
Hereby accept
hereby accept
the position of police officer
the position of police
for
officer
the City of Leominster.
of the City of Leominster.
Congratulations.
And the other coincidence is the Salvi family, or his family, and our family grew up across the street from each other, and his grandmother and my mother were best friends. So There you go. So let's take a group photo up front, if you don't mind. Mr. Salvi, and then at the end, we'll have your family come up and we'll take a nice picture over there behind the flag. So let's all jump up front.
Sheriff. Shortcut in front.
This is what I used to look like. Thank you. Nice job. Thank you. Gee, thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we will have a musical selection by Alan Schwartz.
The voice, the Worcester Woosah, he's performed everywhere.
There we go. Thank you. Good evening. Dean, it's a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege to be here tonight. And I congratulate you, and I know that the next few years you're going to move the city to greater heights than you already have. So congratulations. This song, I actually changed the song at the last minute that I was going to do. I think this is a little bit better song. I changed the words a little bit, and to accommodate the evening, but the message is clearly the same. There's nowhere in the world that I would rather be than with you, my friend. And there's nothing in the world that I would rather see than your smiles, my friend. 'Cause united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and I. For united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be against the wall, we'll be together, you and I. Yes, we will. And if the world should fall apart around you, my friends, you know I'll be there. And if the going gets tough along the way, you just call out here. Because united we stand, divided we fall. And if our backs should ever be
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. Now I would invite up, and I apologize in advance, Rabbi Etzenholtz for a closing prayer.
Good evening. As Reverend Rodriguez shared of the Christian calendar, permit me a moment to share of the Jewish calendar. We're between holidays. Nothing's going on. Hanukkah has ended, and we are waiting for our next holiday, which is Tu B'Shvat, the holiday of trees. And it seems counterintuitive to sit in the middle of January or February and celebrate the new growth. But that's exactly what we're doing here tonight. We're celebrating all of the budding possibilities of the new year with this inauguration, with all of the hope and the dreams of what our city will be. As I pray in the name of God and Adonai, I invite you to invoke that that you believe in. By whatever name you call that power, that source of hope, I ask you to think of it now. May Adonai, our God, who blessed all that came before us, bless the members of our city council, our school committee, the department heads, our mayor, and all of our other elected officials, all of those who serve as volunteers and professionals, our great city. May they be guided by their own sense of wisdom and duty. May they continue to serve with open ears to all of the needs of our community and all who live here. May we be guided by hope and honor and optimism for a better tomorrow as we continue to build together our incredible city. May we go from strength to strength, from last year to the next year, and may 2023 be the best year yet. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. This concludes our ceremony. I just want to do a few special thank yous. Leominster Access Television, Leominster Emergency Management Honor Guard, Leominster Fire Department Honor Guard, Leominster High School Chorus, the Scotch Drum Highland Pipes and Drums, WLPZ Radio, all of our department heads, all of our elected officials. The mayor has a saying, the city is run by those who show up, and you show up every day, and thank you for that. So we're going to do the Salvi family up here for pictures. Everybody else, refreshments. Save some for the Salvi family. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.